Billy was a cow, not just any cow, but a big, strong bull with a heart of gold. He lived on a farm, a place of green pastures and flowing streams. Every day the farmer would milk Billy. Billy was not just any ordinary bull. He was a magnificent creature, towering over the other animals with his impressive stature and kind eyes. His presence commanded respect, and his gentle nature won the hearts of everyone who met him. The farm where Billy lived was a picturesque place, with rolling green pastures that stretched as far as the eye could see. Streams of crystal-clear water meandered through the fields, providing a serene and tranquil environment for all the animals. Every morning, as the sun began to rise, the farmer would make his way to the barn. With practiced hands, he would begin the daily routine of milking Billy. It was a task that had become second nature to him, a chore that he performed without a second thought.
I hate it. The squeezing, the pulling, the endless buckets of milk, it drives me mad. Every day it's the same thing. I stand there helpless as the farmer takes what he wants. It's not fair. The squeezing, the pulling, the endless buckets of milk, it drives me mad. The farmer's hands, rough and calloused, would work tirelessly, extracting every last drop of milk. It was a process that seemed never-ending, a relentless cycle that left Billy feeling drained and frustrated.
Billy would moo in protest, his voice a deep rumble that shook the barn. His cries echoed through the wooden beams, a desperate plea for relief that went unanswered. The other animals would look on with sympathy, but there was nothing they could do to help. But the farmer, a man with calloused hands and a heart of stone, paid no heed. His focus was solely on the task at hand, oblivious to the discomfort and distress he was causing. To him, Billy was just another source of income, a means to an end. Day after day, the milking continued, fueling Billy's frustration. Each session seemed to last an eternity, the minutes stretching into hours as the farmer methodically went about his work. Billy's patience wore thin, and his dreams of a different life grew stronger. He dreamed of freedom, of wide-open spaces, of a life beyond the milking stool. In his mind, he could see himself running through the fields, feeling the wind in his fur and the sun on his back. It was a dream that kept him going, a glimmer of hope in an otherwise monotonous existence. Billy knew that one day, he would find a way to break free. He would no longer be confined to the barn, no longer subjected to the farmer's relentless milking. He would be free to live his life on his own terms, to explore the world beyond the farm. And so, with each passing day, Billy held on to his dream. He endured the milking, the frustration, and the monotony, all the while keeping his eyes on the horizon, for he knew that one day, his dream of freedom would become a reality. One particularly humid afternoon, the farmer approached Billy with a gleam in his eye. The air was thick with moisture, making every step feel like a chore. The sun hung low in the sky, casting long shadows across the barnyard. The farmer's shirt clung to his back, soaked with sweat, but he paid no mind. His focus was solely on Billy, the cow that had been his faithful companion for years. Today, however, things were about to change. He had a new milking machine, a contraption of metal and tubes that promised to double the milk yield. The machine gleamed in the sunlight, its polished surface reflecting the farmer's determined expression. It was a marvel of modern engineering, designed to make the farmer's life easier and more profitable. The farmer had spent a small fortune on this device, convinced that it would revolutionize his dairy farm. He had read all the manuals, watched all the instructional videos, and now he was ready to put it to the test.
What is that? No, this can't be happening. Billy's eyes widened in shock as he saw the strange device. He had never seen anything like it before. The tubes, the metal, the noise. It was all too much for him to comprehend. Panic set in as he realized what was about to happen. He had always trusted the farmer, but this was something new, something terrifying.
Billy watched, his nostrils flaring as the farmer attached the machine. The cold metal touched his skin, sending a shiver down his spine. He could feel the weight of the machine, the pressure of the suction cups. His heart raced, and his muscles tensed. He wanted to run, to escape, but he was trapped. The farmer's hands were steady, his movements practiced and precise. He had done this 100 times before, but never with this machine. The machine whirred to life, its suction cups clamping onto Billy's sensitive skin. The pain was unbearable. It felt like his skin was being pulled off, inch by inch. The noise of the machine filled the barn, drowning out Billy's cries. He could feel the milk being drawn from him, faster and harder than ever before. It was a relentless, mechanical process, devoid of any compassion or understanding. Billy's body trembled with the effort to endure the pain. Billy bucked and snorted, his moo echoing like thunder. He tried to shake off the machine, to free himself from the torment. His hooves pounded the ground, sending up clouds of dust. His eyes were wild with fear and pain. He had never felt so helpless, so vulnerable. The barn, once a place of safety and comfort, had become a prison. Every instinct told him to fight, to resist, but the machine was relentless. But the farmer, blinded by the promise of profit, ignored Billy's agony. He was focused on the machine, on the milk it was producing. He didn't see the pain in Billy's eyes, didn't hear his cries. To him, this was just another step in the process, another way to increase his yield. He had convinced himself that this was for the best, that the ends justified the means. He was so caught up in his ambition that he had forgotten the bond he once shared with Billy. This was the last straw. Billy's eyes filled with determination. He had endured enough, and he was not going to take it anymore. He gathered his strength, ready to make one final stand. The pain, the fear, the betrayal, they all fueled his resolve. He was going to fight back, to reclaim his dignity. This was not just about the machine, it was about respect, about being treated with kindness and compassion. Billy was ready to show the farmer that he was more than just a source of milk. He was a living being, deserving of care and respect. Dill, a small pink pig with a curious nature, watched from a distance. He had never seen Billy so angry. As the farmer finally detached the machine, Billy charged. The farmer went sprawling, landing in a heap of hay.
Billy, what happened?
Dill cautiously approached Billy, who was panting heavily, his sides heaving.
I can't take it anymore, Dill.
Billy looked at Dill, his anger replaced by a deep sadness. Billy told Dill about his dream of freedom, of a life beyond the farm. Dill, always up for an adventure, didn't hesitate.
I'm coming with you.
As they planned their escape, a gruff bark startled them. It was Killer, the farmer's dog. But Killer wasn't there to stop them. He wagged his tail, his tongue lolling out. He wanted to join their adventure. And so, the unlikely trio, a cow, a pig, and a dog, set off into the unknown.
Let's do this, guys.
Their journey led them through forests and fields, over hills and across rivers. They encountered other animals, some friendly, some not. One day they arrived at a raging river, its current too strong to swim across. On the other side, they spotted a pile of glistening fish.
You want to cross? The price is the cow.
Guarding the fish was Knife, a massive bull with horns as sharp as daggers. Billy knew he couldn't back down. The stakes were too high, and the weight of his entire herd's future rested on his shoulders. He had trained for this moment, every muscle in his body honed for the challenge ahead. The air was thick with tension, and the ground beneath him seemed to vibrate with the anticipation of the impending clash.
Knife was bigger, but I was fueled by my desire for freedom. I could feel the eyes of my fellow cows on me, their hopes and dreams intertwined with my own. The fear was there, but it was overshadowed by a burning determination. I knew that if I faltered, it would mean the end of everything we had fought for.
He charged into the river, the current pulling at him. The water was cold and unforgiving, but Billy's resolve was unshakable. Each step was a battle against the force of nature, but he pressed on, his eyes never leaving Knife. The river roared around him, a testament to the chaos of the moment.
Knife snorted, his breath visible in the cool air. His eyes were locked onto Billy, filled with a mix of anger and respect. This was not just a fight for dominance, it was a battle of wills, a test of who would break first.
Knife snorted and met Billy head-on. The impact was like a thunderclap, reverberating through the valley. Both bulls pushed with all their might, their muscles straining and their hooves digging into the muddy riverbed. It was a clash of titans, each one refusing to yield. Their horns clashed, the sound echoing through the valley. Water splashed around them, adding to the intensity of the scene. It was a brutal and primal dance, each move calculated and executed with precision. The world seemed to hold its breath, waiting to see who would emerge victorious.
Oh no, Billy. The fear in their voices was palpable, a reflection of the high stakes of this confrontation. Every cow watching knew that the outcome of this battle would determine their fate.
Come on, Billy, you can do it. Their cheers were a lifeline, a reminder of what he was fighting for. The support of his herd gave him strength, fueling his determination to overcome the odds.
Dill and Killer watched from the bank, their hearts pounding. They had seen many battles, but none as crucial as this. The tension was almost unbearable, each second stretching into an eternity as they watched their friend fight for their future. Billy, battered but determined, pushed with all his might. Every muscle in his body screamed in protest, but he ignored the pain. His mind was focused, his spirit unbroken. He knew that this was his moment, and he would not let it slip away. He shoved Knife backward, inch by inch, until the larger bull stumbled and fell into the raging current. The river swallowed Knife, its current carrying him away. Billy stood victorious, his chest heaving with exertion. The battle was over, but the war for their freedom had just begun. Knife was swept away, his roars swallowed by the rushing water.
I did it. We did it.
Billy, exhausted but victorious, dragged himself onto the opposite bank. Dill and Killer rushed to his side, their relief evident.
Billy, you were amazing.
We knew you could do it.
They feasted on the fish, their bellies full for the first time in days. As the sun set, casting long shadows across the land, they knew they were free. Their journey continued, each day an adventure. They traveled for weeks, guided by the stars and their own wanderlust. Finally, they reached the coast.
Look, a ship.
It's preparing to set sail.
There, they discovered a ship preparing to set sail. The destination, Japan. It was a place they had only heard whispers of, a land of cherry blossoms and ancient traditions. With a rumble of its engine and a billow of smoke, the ship set sail carrying the unlikely trio towards their new life. They had faced danger, overcome obstacles, and tasted freedom. But most importantly, they had found friendship, a bond forged in the fires of their shared adventure.
We've come so far together.
And we'll go even further.
To new adventures.
And so, Billy the cow, no longer bound by the farmer's milking stool, sailed into the sunrise ready to embrace the unknown.